Welcome back, artists. Now that we have our color plan done, it's time to get our design onto our Styrofoam. What we're going to do, you traced with the Sharpie already. You might need to retrace it one more time so that the lines are nice and dark, but we're going to reverse this. So even though these letters look backwards right now, the printing process includes a reversal. So we have to compensate for that by transferring it onto the Styrofoam backwards. If you've ever looked at a stamp, you might notice that, oh, this is backwards, but when you print it, it's correct, and that's what's going to happen here. So we need to make sure that we have this reversed. The other thing you want to make sure to do is use your helper hand. Your helper hand is the holding hand. Once you start tracing this, you don't want this paper to move around. You can end up with double lines, which can make it pretty confusing. We tried our best to make sure that these were the same size, so that should make it a little bit easier for you, but you want to make sure that your helper hand is holding it down. The other thing you want to do is use a ballpoint pen. If you have a pen that's a different color than the Sharpie marker that you use, that can make it a little bit easier, because once you go over the line, you can see that there's some color on there and will know that you've completed that part. I'm putting a little bit of pressure on, not pressing as hard as I can, but I do want to press down a little bit. And I'm going over my lines. One of the things that I encourage you to do is to peek. So I've been drawing a few things here. I did this line around the landscape and started with the nose. And if you lift that up, you can see how there's indentations in the Styrofoam. And that indentation is going to be the part that creates the lines that we are drawing. So now I just need to continue carefully going over all of these lines. All right, now that I feel like I have done everything, I want to double check. Oh, and I just noticed here, I forgot to do the rest of my letters for the your. I see the Y, but I don't see any of the other ones. So it's important that you peek before you peel, before you take off your design entirely, because it's really hard to line up again. So now I'm going to look again. Okay, now I can see the letters. Now I can see my lines. I can go back and make sure I have them in there. And then once, I'm also going to slide my hand to the other side and look over here. Can I read dynamite? Yep. So once I have that checked, then I can take off my pattern. And now it is time for me to go back over this one more time, because you can see the lines in here, but they're not that deep. So we're going to go back over with our ballpoint pen, and we're going to press a little bit harder directly on the Styrofoam. And you might even want to go over it a couple of times. But again, remember, it's important to use a ballpoint pen. If I'm using a sharp pencil, I could poke through. And if I use too much pressure even with a ballpoint pen, I can create holes in the Styrofoam, which could actually cause it to fall apart. You want to be careful with this. We need to press down further, but we have to make sure we're not going through. And if you're not sure, you can always look. So I can lift this up. I don't see anything coming through. And then I can continue my work. So I'm going to do this for all of my lines.